What up, everybody? Welcome to the very first Jacob McLaughlin Fitness episode of my podcast. I'm really excited to be bringing this to you guys. It's been something I've been going back and forth with the last couple of weeks, and I decided, well, might as well jump into it and get going. There's one thing I'm really good at, and it's talking. So I figure, why not just talk into some cameras and some voice recorders and share some of my knowledge, my experience, and see if anybody will even listen. So that's why I'm starting this podcast. But what is this podcast going to be? And so I just want to share that with you guys and kind of give you guys a preference of what you will hear in the upcoming episodes. It's really, health and fitness, that is the area I'm in, and I want to be able to share that with you guys, and answer any questions you guys might have. Also, I've been lucky enough to work with some pretty cool people. Right now I work with Jeremy Scott, who is the face of Men's Health currently, and he's one of the top guys in the fitness realm. And also, just when I was in strength and conditioning, got to work with a lot of top strength and conditioning guys. And so I've been able to meet a lot of cool people and a lot of very successful people. And it's been a very fun experience so far. And I just want to be able to share, my experiences with you guys, and then also meet up with some of those people and have you guys hear their side of the story and things that you could learn from them. So that's really why I wanted to start this podcast and just have you guys make it a learning tool, and selfishly a learning tool for myself, so I can sit down and talk to some other people and get their take on life and some of the experiences they've been through. And personally, I know a couple guys that are 25 years old, and they run a successful business. I have a couple of buddies that have actually sold businesses already, and they're under the age of 25. So reaching out to that younger demographic, being able to talk to you guys, a lot of people just think your 20s, you should just be grinding and working corporate jobs and doing all this stuff, when you could actually be doing way other things with your life. So I just want to share different experiences with you guys, and then also answer any questions that you might be having. So that's kind of the preference of what is going to come. But who is Jacob McLaughlin? Why do you guys care? Why are you guys going to even listen or watch my podcast? And let's just jump into it. So I'm a small town boy from Iowa. I grew up in a small town, about 3,000 people, called Ottawa, Iowa, which is about an hour north of Omaha. So I'm right on the border of Nebraska. I have a brother, a sister, and my mom and dad. They've been in my life my whole time. I'm so thankful and so grateful for them. And yeah, that's kind of the beginning of the high school years. I played college basketball and went to several colleges. I actually transferred, 3, 4 times? I can't even remember. I transferred so many times. Yeah, I transferred, I think, 3 times and got my degree in kinesiology and human performance. I have my certifications in my CSCS, which is Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist, and also my CPT, Certified Personal Trainer certificate. And so that's really my passion, is strength and conditioning, fitness, and just exercise, health, and healthy lifestyle is what I'm really into. And so that's what's really driven me, or been a driver for me in my life this far, is just always bettering yourself. And that's what kind of health and fitness is for me. And so yeah, so I went to a small NAIA school, played college basketball for a year, decided, I wasn't that good, which I had to swallow my pride, which I thought everybody thinks they're the best, right? Found out I wasn't the best, and I was like, well, it's time to throw in the towel, or I could keep going to this really expensive school, take out even more debt, and then maybe come off the bench a couple of minutes in the game. And so I threw it in, and I changed schools and got my degree in kinesiology. That's why I went to Briarcliff University in Sioux City, Iowa, and got my degree there and had great experiences, met a lot of great people, and then took me on this journey called life. And I tell you what, the last 2 years have been a learning point for me. They have been so great, and so many ups and so many downs, and it's just been one big learning experience. So right after college, when I graduated, I took an internship to Santa Clara University out in Santa Clara, California. If you guys don't know where that is Silicon Valley, aka one of the most expensive places to live in the US. And so me being a young guy right out of college who wanted to get into strength and conditioning, I was like, I'm going to take anything that comes my way. And Coach Medina, who's there, is just amazing, called me up and he's like, hey, we'd love to have you. And I said, yeah, I'll be there. Packed everything I had, and I just drove to California 2 weeks later. I had some money saved up was able to get a loan and just went. And so I worked for 3 months nonstop. You know, pretty much I was there at 5 a.m. every morning, and I'd work till about 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And I just did that for 3 months, and I learned a lot because that was my first time ever being away from home. And yeah, to be honest, I thought it sucked because I didn't know anything. It was so new to me. It was all brand new. I didn't have any friends out there. I didn't know anybody. I just worked all the time, and I was working for free, going in debt. I actually spent about $5,000 in the 3 months, and I didn't go out at all. That was me just paying rent. I was paying $1,000 a month to live with 12 other people in an Airbnb, and I was working for free, like I said, from sunrise to sunset. Half the time I didn't even see the sun because I was working all the time. And so that took me on this journey of like the strength and conditioning route and just getting out of my comfort zone. But the funny thing is when I got back from California to Iowa, there was nothing I missed more than California. It was the experiences. It was all the new stuff. I went to, when I was there, I was walking around. I took a train for the first time, as hard as that is to believe. I took a train. I went to San Francisco, saw all the very interesting people of San Francisco. From being a small town Iowa guy, that was quite the experience. And so it's just quite a cool thing when I look back on it now, how scared I was at the moment, but now when I look back about how great of an experience it was, and I've had that come in life so many times after that. So yeah, so I was at Santa Clara, did that, came back, and then I worked at a big box gym. When I moved back, I actually lived in Omaha, Nebraska, and I met my manager, who is actually one of my best friends now, Graham, and he is the coolest dude I've ever met. Just want to give him a shout out real quick. You know, he's done a quest to be a Gymshark, and I think he's on like day 1,226, and it was just a goal to get signed by this Gymshark. If you guys don't know what Gymshark is, it's one of the fastest growing fitness industry companies there, and with clothing, and he just got signed last month or 2 months ago, at which he's been going for like 3.5 years. So it's just amazing. But he is honestly the coolest dude I've ever met. When I moved to Omaha, my brother told me I could live with him and I could work this job training, and I was like, oh, pumped, got the job. Graham hired me, and then I was going, and I just laughed because I called my brother and I'm like, hey, I got the job, and he's like, hey, you can't live with me, and I'm like, all right, what do I do now? And that was just another obstacle thrown in my life. But then Graham's, like I said, he's the greatest dude I know. He's just like, come sleep on my couch or sleep in my bed. He actually had an extra bed in his room, and he's like, you can sleep in that extra bed. And so I was like, oh, dude, thank you. So I lived there for 2 weeks. We'd wake up at 4 in the morning. We'd get up, we'd go train at the gym. I'd be there by 4:35 training people, and then I'd be there till 7 to 8 o'clock at night. And then I'd come home, I'd watch a video or two or do some work for some workout clients, and then I would go straight to bed. And we did that. I did that for 2 weeks with him, and then I was able to find a place to actually live with some of his buddies that he knew and could pay rent and live there. And so I stayed there for about 3 months and worked at a big box gym, and that's when I found out how much I hate big box gyms. And I say that with like a grain of salt because like I'm a trainer, I was in it, and I fell into the system, and that's why I say I hated it. You know, I started out making no money. I worked 70-hour weeks or more, and I would I'd work Monday through Saturday. I would work Monday from 4:30 in the morning to about 7 o'clock at night, and like being new, I didn't have as many clients, but I still had a lot of clients, but they're like $8 ones, you only get commission, blah, blah, blah. So after 2 weeks, I was making like $600 working 70-hour weeks, and that was after 2 weeks, you know, so I was like making no money, working all the time, and they tell you, oh, you could be this, they could be that, and I noticed that the gyms there, they're always like putting like on a pedestal, they're like, hey, if you work just a little harder, you could be here. And so you work harder, and then that opportunity comes, and they're like, oh, we gave it to someone else. And you're like, oh, great, thanks, and good to know. And so there was that, and then it was also just the drama of like coworkers and the people there. And I've noticed that the big box gyms, you know, I'm not going to name any, but like the big ones, everybody loves drama. Like there's so many fitness people that just want to like, you know, to be real with you guys, everybody just sleeps with everybody. And so what it is you have all these people who sleep with each other, clients, actual trainers, staff, like that actually happens. And then it's awkward because now someone you slept with is now with someone else, and then it just gets, it's a bad situation. And so that was a big learning experience for me. And so that's when I left. I was like, I am never going into a big box gym ever again. But during that same time, I had opportunities with strength and conditioning. I got offered a job at Marshall University to be an assistant strength coach. So I could have been 22 teaching D1 kids that were almost as old as me, which was super exciting, but again, no money into it. And so for me, I've always been very money conscious, and I'm like, hey, I want to do something I love, but I want to make sure I have enough money so at the end of the day, I feel like if I want to take a trip tomorrow, I could. And a lot of times that can't happen when you're first starting out with a lot of things. And so I got with Creighton University, which was an amazing experience. Coach Schmidt, Brad Schmidt, was the best dude I've ever met. He was just so awesome to me. He took me under his wing, and all the other Creighton guys out there, I really appreciate you guys. They took me under their wing, and they just talked to me and let me learn the system. But it was at the same moment I was going for occupational therapy school, and then I was like, should I go strength and conditioning? Should I go TE school? And the head strength coach called me in, and he's like, why would you do a job where you're going to work twice the amount of the hours, you're going to make half of the pay, and you're never going to be happy with going on? And I was like, crap, quit Creighton. Was like, I'm going back to OT school. So that was a decision. And then how I got out to Arizona, I actually was working landscaping in between and hating my life because I was working in negative 20 degrees cutting down trees, and that's just not my jam. I hate the cold. Hence why I'm in Phoenix, Arizona now. And so I moved out here to Arizona, and I moved out here because I had interviews with occupational therapy schools, came out here, and then I was like, yep, I'm gonna jam with occupational therapy school. I got out here, found out I got in, I was all pumped, and then I realized $120,000 to go to school, which a lot of people don't think about this, but it's $120,000. And then you have to live off that. You have to live. So there's probably another $30,000, $40,000. So now you're at $150,000, $160,000 that you are going into debt. And then, oh yeah, you have to pay interest back on that. So I was looking at to go to school to be an OT that makes about $80,000 a year, looking at about $200,000 I would have to pay back. And for me, I had too much anxiety. I pay for everything myself. I couldn't do it. So I just decided, nope, I'm going to go train or I'm going to do something else, but I'm not going into that much debt. And so luckily I found Jeremy over Instagram. I messaged him before all this. That's how after I moved out here, and we started talking, and he actually gave me a job, and I was going to work for free, and then he paid me, so I guess I win. And then yeah, I just started working with Jeremy, and he is the smartest man I've ever met, and I truly mean that. I'm not just saying that because he's stuff coming up ahead. I want to be able to get you guys just like I said, health and fitness stuff, just health and fitness like nutrition, any workout stuff, anything, questions that you guys have, because again, I've been in this for a while. I have my degrees, I have my certifications, I've been learning, and again, I'm just going to learn more, and getting good questions from you guys makes me do more research and all the good stuff. So yeah, I would love to answer any questions you guys might have. And also with that said, I would love to just go on life. I have a lot of people talk to me. They're like, how the heck do you have your head on your shoulders already? You're 24. You should be going pounding beers every night and just not caring about tomorrow, which I did in college. It was fun, had my time, but now I'm focused on other things. And so, yeah, just kind of want to be with like-minded people and would just love to connect with you guys. So really appreciate you tuning in to episode 1 of Jacob McLaughlin Fitness Podcast. Like I said, I'm so excited to have you guys listening, and I can't wait to just have this journey continue on. So until next time, you guys, do stuff you love with people you really love. And that's me trying to steal Jeremy's stuff. I gotta be original. What the heck, Jacob? Come on. Now, until next time, just be with people you love and do something active. So I'll talk to you guys episode 2. Have a great one.